So for this project I'll be using a 5mm hook, and let's begin. So to start we're going to make a slip knot, which is just like this, and adjust the knot to the hook. Now we're going to start by chaining 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there we go, we've got the first row of the cuff. Alright, now what we do is, chaining an extra 1, we work back down to the beginning with a single crochet. So skipping the first chain from the hook, go back into the second chain and single crochet, just like that. And then putting a single crochet into every stitch back down till you reach the first chain. So just doing that with you, and grab some yarn as well, because it's really annoying when you run out. Okay, so working your way all the way back to the first chain. And back down to the end. And also, as you go, make sure that you're keeping the tension very consistent, because you want it to be even, obviously, so they're both, the same. Okay, so there we go. We've worked our way all the way back to the first chain. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, turn the work over, and for the first stitch we're going to go in through the whole stitch. So there's the V on top, and then you can see just in through all of the stitch, just like that. So that's for the first stitch. Now for the second stitch, and for all the stitches along until you get to the last one, we're only going to be going in through the top back part, through the back of the stitch, so the back of the V, just that part there. So you can see there's the whole stitch. If we were going to do the whole stitch, we're going through there, but we're going in through the top and the back, so that part just there. Just like that, and put a single crochet in like that, and then we're going to be doing the same for all the stitches back down to the other side. So just like that. Okay, all the way back down to the other side, grabbing some more yarn. And always remember, in crochet it's very easy to count the stitches that you've done. So if you're not sure, how many have I done? I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got one more left, and remember with the last one, which is that stitch just there, we're going through the whole stitch and not just the back part of the stitch. So just in like that, and there we go. And that's we're gonna chain 1 again and then turn, and we're going to be doing the same for for the rest of the rows that we'll be doing. So that's going to help to make the ribbing effect, the rippled ribbing effect. Okay, so let's just do that again. I'll show you again. So we've chained 1, we've turned the work, and we go into the first one through the whole stitch, like that, and then into the backs of the rest of the stitches till the last stitch, where we go in through the whole stitch again. So all the way back to the beginning, or to the other end, just like this. Okay, and this is how we begin the cuff. So just into the whole of the last stitch, like that, pulling through. Okay, so there we go, and you'll probably be able to see it starts to sort of make have a rippled effect for the ribbing. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to do as many of those rows as you need to fit comfortably around your ankle. So not tight, so that it's kind of a little slouchy, a little bit slouched, but also make sure that it wouldn't be slipping off your foot as you walk. You want to make sure it's pretty comfortable. For me, using a 5mm hook, that's about 40 rows. So if you do as many of those, and just adjust as you go along, measure it as you go along, make sure it's comfortable for you, because really this pattern, it's again, like, I'm not big on measurements, to be honest with you. I like things that you can adjust to yourself and make your own. So this is very much that sort of pattern. Just measure it as you go, measure it around your ankle, see what fits comfortably, see how it feels. And then once you've gotten to as many rows as you need for that, we'll meet back up again and I'll show you where to go from there. Okay, so I actually ended up only having to do 32 rows because the yarn that I'm using is a bit thicker than the one that I used for the other Legwarmers. So, another way that you can count the rows, if you're not sure of how to, I mean, it's pretty easy, but if you want another way to count, so doing it like this, you can count the indents as 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. So that's another way you can count that. Alright, so now, yeah, so 32 rows, and it fits comfortably around my ankle without falling off, without being too slouchy, but still a little bit slouchy, you know. Okay, now what we do is, the next step is to, without chaining one, go in to the first stitch. So no chaining one, but into the first stitch. Now we fold the work in half, and we go in to the bottom of the 10th chain that we did to begin, the foundation chain, and we slip stitch through there to join the work. So just like that. Being careful not to, I'm gonna have to do it again. Being careful not to hook through the wrong bits of yarn. So just through that first foundation stitch, or the 10th, and then through there. Okay, so there you go, and then we've joined. Now into the second one, and into the second space along for the stitch. And the third space along. And fourth space along, fifth space along, sixth space along, seventh, and eighth, ninth, there we go, and the 10th one, so through the 10th stitch, just like that, should be right into the beginning, right into the first chain that you did, so just through there. And there we have joined. Have a look. And that'll be the inside of the work. So what you do now is just chain one and take the work like this and then fold it through just like that, and then we can start work on the leg. So pull the beginning bit of yarn just through so it's not in the way. Up. Make sure it doesn't come back through because that's kind of annoying. So there we go. Alright, now that we have turned our work inside out, we're going to chain another 2, just like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a double crochet into each space along until you have the amount of double crochets as much as the amount of rows that you did. So 32 for me. So I will start with the space just there and do it into, it'll be easy to find where you should put the double crochet because of the stitch that we did through the entire stitch and not just through the back of the stitch at the end of the row. So I'll just show you. It should be pretty easy to find. So yeah, just work your way around. So yarn over for double crochet and in through just there. Double crochet. And then, yeah, just working a double crochet into each space along the side till you reach the amount of stitches that is, to reflect the amount of rows that you did. Okay, so for me that will be 32. We'll meet back up again when you've gone the entire way around and I'll tell you where to go from there. Alright, now that I've reached the amount of stitches to reflect the rows that I've done, I'm going to join that round by slip stitching into the top of the chain 2. So the top of the chain 2 being just there. Slip stitch. Just like that. Alright, now from here on it's really, really simple. You just chain 2 for the beginning of each round and double crochet. Always make sure to go into the stitch that you slipped into for your first stitch. Oh, just like that, or just like that. And then, yeah, work your way around till, always make sure you're consistently keeping the same amount of stitches for every single row, and just keep doing that, like double crochet till the end of the round, slip stitch into the top of the chain 2, double crochet for the round, until you reach the length that you want to cover your leg. There are no increases for this pattern, it's all just the one amount of stitches for the whole way. So yeah, very, very easy, very, very simple. We'll meet back up again at the end. We'll try on our leg warmers, we'll see how they look, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. So here are the finished leg warmers, and yeah, I think they look pretty good. But I think I like the blue ones better. I just like the way they sit. I like the little slouch at the bottom. And it's also probably just because I like the colour. The colour's a bit better. It's more my sort of colours. I found that they're pretty decent with staying up, like they don't fall down too much. I mean, they might fall down a little bit as you walk. Probably long enough to look cute when they do that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think leg warmers can look really nice when they're a bit rumpled and a bit slouchy. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you find it useful. I do have more ideas for leg warmers, so there'll be some more tutorials coming soon. But yeah, until then, thanks for joining me.